You sleep with the enemy every night, but believe me, it's not your spouse. There is a silent killer prowling around your home, often disguised as being right or a sense of justice, that is mining your love drop by drop. If you feel like you live on a battlefield where you constantly need to defend yourself, beware. Wounded pride might be destroying your marriage without you even noticing, turning small slip-ups into unforgivable offenses. Often, what we call not taking anything lying down is just distorted anger, a dirty lens that makes us see disrespect where in reality there was only human error or a communication failure. You think you are protecting yourself and setting boundaries, but in reality, you are building an impenetrable wall that prevents any assertive communication and pushes away the person you swore to love. It is a dangerous mental trap that convinces you that maintaining your position is more important than maintaining peace. But there's a powerful antidote for this. Today, I'm going to hand you the key to marital wisdom to identify this poison before it causes irreversible damage to your family. We are going to talk about emotional control in a practical and revealing way, so you can stop reacting like a victim of your own ego and start acting like the guardian of your home. Stay with me until the end, because what you are going to learn now will change the way you view your partner forever. Imagine a powerful general used to giving orders and being obeyed, who suddenly finds himself hostage to a disease that respects no hierarchy. Naaman had medals and armies, but leprosy leveled him with any other mortal, exposing a wounded pride that clamored for VIP treatment. It is very common in relationships for us to want our partner to solve things our way, ignoring that an effective solution can come without any pomp at all. Frustration hit hard when Prophet Elisha didn't even come out to see him, sending only a simple message to wash in a common river. To Naaman, that sounded like a personal insult, activating a distorted anger that was totally disproportionate to the real situation. How many times do you, as a couple, turn a small disagreement into a world war because you felt disrespected by something trivial? We focus so much on the way something was said or done that we completely forget the content that could heal us and restore peace. In that instant, Naaman's ego spoke louder than his need for health, blinding him to the blessing that was right there. He thought, does he not know who he is talking to, building a stone wall where marital wisdom could not penetrate? When one of you closes up in this defensive posture, thinking you deserve more consideration than the actual resolution of the conflict, the game is lost. Pride is a terrible counselor. It convinces you to remain sick and unhappy just so you don't have to admit defeat. Furious, he was ready to turn around and leave, taking the leprosy back home as a sad souvenir of his stubbornness. It is frightening to see how a lack of emotional control makes us make stupid decisions that sabotage our own happiness in the long run. Imagine a husband or wife contemplating separation in the heat of the moment just because the other forgot an appointment. It seems absurd, but that is exactly what anger does. It makes you throw away the precious diamond just because you didn't like the cardboard box it came in. The simplicity of Elisha's order offended the complexity of the general's ego, which expected magical rituals and grandiose gestures. Often, assertive communication and the healing of the relationship live in the simple things, in the basics done well, and not in epic speeches or cinematic proofs of love. But the story doesn't end with him leaving in a fit of rage, because fortunately, life usually places speed bumps or unexpected people in our path to stop us from jumping into the abyss. Naaman was fuming with rage, blinded by his own ego, when an unlikely figure appeared to save the day, a humble servant. It is ironic how the answer we need often comes from whom we least expect, perhaps from the one we usually ignore in our routine. While the general was lost in his distorted anger, the servant kept a cool head and used simple logic, which is the best antidote for drama. In relationships, sometimes it is necessary for one of the two to have the humility to lower their guard first so that reason can return to inhabit the house. The servant's argument was brilliant in its simplicity. If he had asked for something difficult, wouldn't you do it? So why not do the simple thing? He disarmed Naaman's wounded pride without attacking him, merely showing the absurdity of the situation with a precise and friendly question. This is a golden technique for couples. Instead of accusing the other of being crazy, ask questions that help the partner see their own contradiction. It's about bringing light to the conversation, not heat, transforming a battlefield into a ground of mutual understanding. What happens next is the real miracle. Naaman listens, stops, breathes, and realizes that his reaction was childish. Having the marital wisdom to recognize that one was wrong and change course in the middle of an argument is a silent act of heroism. It is not weakness to turn back, it is pure intelligence. It is choosing to be happy and healthy instead of being right at any cost. Imagine the relief he felt letting the anger go and focusing on what truly mattered, his healing and his future. So he gets off his high horse, literally and figuratively, and goes to the muddy river to do what he was told. This dipping 7 times symbolizes the repetition of acts of humility we need to have in marriage to wash away accumulated grievances. It is not enough to apologize once superficially. Consistency is needed. It is necessary to dive into the change of attitudes several times until the relationship becomes clean again. Emotional control manifests here in obedience to the restoration process, even if it is uncomfortable at first. The final result, he came out of those waters with the skin of a child, restored because he decided to trust the process instead of trusting his anger. The servant's assertive communication and the general's humble action saved a life that was condemned to loneliness and disease. But this biblical story doesn't just serve ancient generals. It is a perfect mirror for us today, because just like him, we often carry an invisible disease that corrodes our daily coexistence, something that is born slowly and can destroy everything if we don't look in the mirror.
Naaman's pride did not die with him. It lives in each of us when we let small frustrations turn into mortal offenses. Often, you get irritated not by what your spouse did, but because wounded pride whispers that it was a deliberate personal attack. It is that feeling of, he did this on purpose just to annoy me, when in fact, it was just carelessness or forgetfulness. We are too quick to judge the other's intentions with the worst possible court, condemning without evidence. Notice that anger usually arises when something constrains or disturbs us, taking us out of our selfish comfort zone. If the partner leaves a wet towel on the bed or is late for dinner, distorted anger enters the scene screaming that this is a lack of love. We transform a simple logistical error into a grave character flaw. And then the war begins inside the home for trivial reasons. It is like setting fire to the whole house just to try to kill a single cockroach. To combat this tendency, it is vital to nourish the mind with readings that teach us to understand human behavior, such as the classic How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. The lack of marital wisdom makes us react like spoiled children who didn't get their wishes met at the exact time, which is poison. Studying temperaments and emotional intelligence helps to see that not everything revolves around our own navel. The greatest danger is the punitive silence, or the sharp response that comes right after the frustration, blocking any chance of assertive communication and resolution. You start creating mental scripts worthy of Hollywood, where the other is the absolute villain, completely ignoring the context or the fatigue of daily life. It is in this fertile ground of negative assumptions that divorce plants its seeds long before any paper is signed at the notary. Without emotional control, a simple delay becomes irrefutable proof of lovelessness, and the mind starts traveling to dangerous and totally unreal places. It is frightening to see how one thought pulls another, creating a snowball that rolls downhill with no brakes. And it is exactly about this mental trap, this spiral of negativity that creates monsters where they don't exist, that we need to talk about now, using a classic example that might be happening right there with you. Let's visualize a classic scene. The husband looks at his watch, his wife is 20 minutes late, and the phone doesn't ring. Instead of thinking logically that the city traffic is chaotic, his mind is hijacked by a distorted anger that starts dictating the script. He isn't just worried, he's getting offended, feeling left out, as if her delay were a personal attack on his authority or importance. It is impressive how in seconds the brain swaps worry for severe judgment. The internal dialogue starts becoming toxic. I can't count on her for anything. She only thinks of herself. Wounded pride takes the wheel, convincing him that if she truly loved him, she would have flown over the traffic jams to arrive on time. This type of thinking is cancer for affection, as it transforms an external and uncontrollable circumstance into a flawed proof of the partner's character. You start mentally listing all past mistakes, creating a dossier of crimes that don't even exist. Without a drop of marital wisdom at that moment, he runs red lights in his conclusions. He might be sitting on the sofa, physically immobile, but mentally he has already traveled halfway to a divorce, re-evaluating years of history because of a delay. It is a temporary blindness where reality doesn't matter. Only the victim narrative he created in his own head gains strength. He suffers in anticipation and by assumption, which is doubly painful and useless. The tragic irony is that while he foams with rage, thinking she's having fun or being irresponsible, she might be being taken to a hospital or dealing with a flat tire in the rain. The lack of fact-checking and prior assertive communication causes him to condemn an innocent person. When the truth finally arrives, the shame of having thought the worst is devastating, but the emotional damage of those hours of fury has already left marks on his heart. This roller coaster of bad feelings drains the couple's energy and creates a climate of constant mistrust. Emotional control failed miserably because he acted, even if internally, before thinking, guided only by the heat of the moment. But the big question is how to get out of this destructive autopilot. There's a mental handbrake, a safety protocol in 3 steps that you need to learn to activate immediately when your blood starts to boil. When the blood rises and the heart races, the first golden rule is stop everything immediately. Do not speak, do not type that sassy message on WhatsApp, and please do not make definitive decisions. Emotional control begins with a physical stop. Leave the room, go drink a glass of cold water, or take a walk around the block to cool your head. This strategic pause isn't running away from the problem, it's just ensuring that your rational brain takes back command of the ship before you sink it on impulse. With a slightly cooler head, turn yourself into a detective before acting like a ruthless judge. Ask yourself honestly, do I have all the evidence or am I creating a horror movie in my mind? The basis of assertive communication is checking the facts before launching accusations. Verify what really happened, because reality is usually less dramatic than imagination. Most of the time, you'll discover that the mortal offense was just a misunderstanding, a bad battery, or a common unforeseen event. The third step is to elevate your thinking and seek a higher connection, whether through sincere prayer or a moment of deep reflection. Ask for clarity and marital wisdom to see beyond your own bruised ego at that moment. Books like The Power of a Praying Wife or Husband by Stormy O'Martin show how surrendering anger to God changes the atmosphere of the house instantly. It is practically impossible to continue nurturing hate or severe judgment while you humbly ask for patience and understanding. By following this safety protocol, you'll frequently discover that your distorted anger was lying to you the whole time. Anger works like a dirty lens that warps reality, making tiny problems look like gigantic monsters ready to destroy your marriage. By cleaning this lens with the pause and prayer, you realize that the problem was 10% the event that occurred and 90% your exaggerated reaction to it. Admitting this is liberating and prevents scars that would take years to heal. Overcoming wounded pride hurts at first, but it's the only path to building a mature, armored, and lasting love. Investing in mindfulness practices helps a lot not to be a slave of your first nervous impulses. By mastering this art, you stop being a puppet of external circumstances and become the true guardian of peace in your home. And now that you have the complete map to disarm this ticking time bomb, we need to seal this commitment to definitive change in your life.
We have reached the end of this video, but your true journey begins now, when the screen goes dark. I know that applying all of this is not easy. Swallowing your pride and giving up being right requires giant strength. But believe me, the reward is a home where you will have the pleasure of returning every day. I want to ask something looking into your eyes. Is it worth winning the argument and losing the admiration of the one you love? True marital wisdom lives in the courage to be the first to extend the white flag, tearing down the wall of wounded pride to build a bridge of affection. Do not let this knowledge be just another beautiful theory forgotten in the drawer of your mind. The next time distorted anger knocks at the door and your blood boils, remember that you are partners, not enemies. Use emotional control as an act of love. Breathe deep and choose assertive communication instead of silence or screaming. I challenge you to do things differently tonight. Surprise the other with humility. You have no idea of the healing power that exists in a sincere apology or a hug at an unexpected time. Now, think with me. After we clear the garbage of pride out of the way, the path becomes free for something much deeper. But be careful, because many couples, when trying to reconnect, fall into a subtle trap about what is permitted or forbidden to feel, blocking true intimacy. There is a secret about desire and connection that few speak of, but which is vital to keeping the flame alive without guilt. I left a very special video separated here on the screen for you, which touches exactly on this wound and shows how to strengthen this sacred bond. Click on it now to continue growing together. And of course, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, because I will be here rooting for and walking side by side with you on this mission to armor your love.